Welcome to the Flow Tracy Money Audio Commentary. This is Owen Tracy recording. It's 2:29 p.m. That is Central Time, and today is August 18th. Oh, there's certainly plenty to talk about in here today. On the one hand, the stock markets were pretty quiet, and the bond markets were also reasonably quiet. And I think in many respects, what the market is looking at is what's going to happen coming out of Jackson Hole, although I'm not quite sure why, because we can't really expect any kind of signal for what they're going to do in September. What I would probably, I think, is more likely is that what they're going to say is that there's a clear need to maintain independence for the Federal Reserve. Now, what we're seeing elsewhere is probably going to have a more significant effect on what the media is talking about, because you had President Trump and President Zelensky coming out of a meeting today all smiles. That certainly is a more positive outlook from what happened the last time they had a meeting in the White House. And then Zelensky was accompanied by several European leaders, and they all sat around the table, all speaking English, and thanking the president, President Trump, for brokering a negotiation with Russia and talking about the very real possibility that there will be a mutual defense pact, which they're referring to as the NATO Article 5 language. Well, that, of course, then also raises the question why the Prime Minister of Finland was at the meeting. It's not simply that he is more of a supporter of President Trump, but also the arrangement that Finland came to when it ended hostilities with Russia or the USSR was neutrality. So, on the one hand, there's the possibility that Ukraine will have a mutual defense pact, and on the other, that it will in fact become a neutral party, and that it will not ultimately join NATO. Now, then, of course, the broader question is how much of an internal military position will it have? Will it be able to create its own credible defense? That's, of course, going to be part of the negotiations and the return of the children. This is something that I've been talking about quite a lot, and every time I've been talking about how any kind of deal would be made, well, then the return of the children that were stolen from Ukraine is absolutely essential. There is no way that a deal is going to get past any kind of vote or agreement with the Ukrainian people without the return of their children. So that's now also starting to become a much more vocal point